SME is now on the agenda. Hello, my name is Diabosito. South Africa is facing a crisis of normalized alcohol abuse among especially young people, with rising consumption and earlier initiation into drinking. And that reality is forcing a rethink of what quote-unquote celebration should look like for the next generation. The House of Delicacy positions its non-alcoholic and de-alcoholized wines as part of a rethink and creating a wellness-driven as well as inclusive alternative that lets people participate in wine culture without the risks of alcohol abuse. The CEO and founder, Nompumelelo Malwela, is visiting us in studio today. Hello, young lady, and congratulations on coming up with something that is deeply needed. But I know that you started this with your mother, from what your profile tells us. Tell us more about the birth of the business.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
It's truly an honor. With the beginning and the birth of House of Delicacy, of course, because my mom is the founder, she saw that, we had the need to have some sort of beverage that still makes you feel like you're included when people are, having some wine at a nice dinner table or whatever. And she decided that because she doesn't drink, why doesn't she come up with something that is inclusive? But with me coming up and saying that I would also like to take over is because of, like you said, the crisis that we have in terms of, the alcohol consumption. With the youth. But
for 19 and 20-year-olds like yourselves, inclusion in a place where non-alcoholic drinks are there in a celebratory mood, how are you convincing them? It must be very difficult in a country like ours, where alcohol is center stage of most of the celebrations.
Yes. Of course, like you said, it's very difficult. Even with myself, I'm not going to lie and say, immediately when my mom had said, this is really cool. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But, I really had to sit down and actually rethink and know that, okay, like myself, I don't really consume, and I do know that there are others that don't consume as well. But with everything, you need to also have some sort of presentation that you have with it, and some sort of influence. Hence, we had to come up with, like with our campaign that we had last week, we had to kind of come up with a really cute way of, just making people want to. Yes, so we made like mocktails. So we know that, okay, when we put this out, people can make their own mocktails with our non-alcoholic wines.
What's the conversations among people of your age about the dangers of alcohol, and when we talk about the future that we'd like young people to have and the role that alcohol plays, what is the word on the street?
So, of course, now, as you can see with how influencers play out with the whole wellness, going for Pilates, going for yoga, going for running clubs, and just, taking care of yourself, skincare routines, all that stuff. So we know that with the placement of bringing something like this, it has some sort of influence that, hey, because I'm taking care of my face, I'm taking care of my body, this is something that can also be implemented with that, because now I don't consume alcohol, which is also healthy for my body and also for my mind as well, because I mean, now that's what's important for you to move on. And in terms of the youth, of course, because we are the future, we need to have like a mindset of growth and innovation. Hence we came up with this, like I said. And I think also just understanding that, okay, yes, this is what I want to do with the mindset, like a clear mindset. You can build a future and build a future for other youth as well, like I'm doing right now.
Take us through your range. What do you have? I see red, I see white. What do you have, and what is it suitable for?
Okay, so as you can see, we have the non-alcoholic and we also have the de-alcoholized.
Okay, what's the difference?
The difference, that's very important. So with the de-alcoholized, it had alcohol, then it got extracted.
Okay.
And then with the non-alcoholic...
So there's still some part of alcohol.
0.5.
0.5, half a percent of alcohol still left. Okay, understand. And then non-alcoholic absolutely has no alcohol.
And they're also halal as well.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, what would you pair this with? The girls are going out or they're having a braai. How would you pair this?
Okay, so everybody has their own acquired taste.
Sure.
But I would say that, okay, for myself, This one is my favorite.
Sure.
The dealcoholized white.
Okay.
It has like the sour taste. It's like a normal Shannon, if one would say.
Yeah.
And then the Melo is dry, so you can pair that with your cheese and your crackers or whatever.
Okay.
But like I said, I can't really say what anybody should have per se.
Yeah.
But
You
with
can make
my taste,
recommendations. You
right?
can
Okay,
make
recommendations.
Yeah.
The pop is obviously very like fruity, so
Yes,
if you
and
want
more celebratory.
be very, and
graduating.
it has like a little play on the tongue as well.
Oh, does
so
it? All those
maybe you
bubbles.
can taste it off the.
All those bubbles.
Yes, all those bubbles.
I'll definitely taste it.
Yes.
And then this one.
This one is sweet.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it's not everyone that is into dry wine.
Exactly.
Some people really cannot handle it.
Exactly.
So there are those people who still want sweet.
Yes.
So is both these two on my right, are they both sweet?
No, the two whites are still the same because we're still growing our range.
Okay.
But with that one, the last one, it's more sweeter, it's softer on the tongue as well.
Okay.
It's smooth, very smooth. Unlike, the one that we have on our range, the delicacy range.
Let's talk about competition. To get on the shelves is very difficult, it's very costly.
True.
I'm sure you've seen, your entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
How are you making your mark and how are you dealing with competition?
To be honest, I wouldn't say it's competition because the name of, what we named it, House of Delicacy, we are trying to house non-alcoholic wines.
Yeah.
And, with what we have, I'd say that, it's not a lot of places where you can find non-alcoholic wines and de-alcoholized wines. We're just trying to get ourselves out there as much as we can, but still be able to house these non-alcoholic wines and these de-alcoholized wines as well that are out there. So I wouldn't say there's any type of competition because we're just trying to collaborate and work together.
I suppose it's a new way of looking at business.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. But tell us, where do people buy it if they want? Do you have socials?
Yes.
Are you partnering with other retailers? What's the story?
We would really love to get on retail, so that would be really good for us to be able to get out on the market, even internationally. But they can find us on our website. It's www.houseofdelicacy.co.za, and then on social media it's _delicacy with an apostrophe just to replace the I.
We'll have it on our
Please, thank you. Thank you so much.
Nompumelelo, thank you so much for coming through and introducing us to a new way of celebrating.
Yes.
One that aligns with a lot of people's health goals.
Yes.
Thank you, and we wish you the best of luck for your business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, I've been speaking to Nompumelelo Malwela. She is the CEO of House of Delicacy. They are into non-alcoholic and de-alcoholized wine. I think I struggled with that word. She is encouraging people to, look into an alternative way of celebrating and having an alternative to alcohol. Thank you so much, Nompumelelo. Keituemtse Keromeng, a 35-year-old seamstress and entrepreneur from Tsing village outside Morukweng in Kagisano Molopo local municipality, which is in the northwest, has found an innovative way to turn discarded waste materials into valuable products. Using waste such as discarded washing powder packaging and old jeans, she makes stylish, durable, and sustainable bags as well as aprons. Keromeng's work not only creates unique handmade products, but also helps reduce waste and promote environmental conservation. SABC News reporter Zebulon Mayine as well as video journalist Tumelo Skabezi compiled this report, which is our featured business of the week.
Tsing village is located more than 200 kilometers northwest of Vryburg town. Residents here rely on subsistence farming for survival. But for Keituemtse Keromeng, that is not the case. She saw an opportunity on a washing powder empty packaging. Her sewing journey started when she was 11 years old. She says she learned this craft from her grandmother.
President tantsa go eletsa gore itswalele mo matlung lo senke sengwe lo se dire and gape a rotloetsa thata gore batho ba lo itseng go roka ke kopa gore le kang go direla baagi di mask ka simolla ka ira di dust mask ka nna ka rekisa ga ya ka heletsa re go nna go nka be ke ya shopong ke ya go reka one molora o wa mmeke ga ke tsana mo ntlong ke apere skipa se blue ka tsela teng ga ke tsana mo kitchen ka bona plastic e ya mmeke e fita skipa se ne ke sa apere ka latse ke bona gore go botlhokwa plastic e nka dira sengwe ka yone ka ipotsa gore e ka nna eng.
Keromeng says after realizing that her initiative was positive, she got motivated to do more.
Ke ile ka nna ka tswelela ka nna ka phuta di-plastic tsa mmeke ke di kopa le mo community ga le ba ile gore ba kgona go di nkokwanye tsa batla go mpha tsone ga ke sena ke kry-a ka itlene ka ithube ka itlhatswa ke be ke heletse ke sega ditsela tse ke be ke skimar ke dira check after that ke a di-cutter into a small piece ga ke tswa yana ke sena ke dira so ke ya go motšhining ke a roka ga ke sena ke roka go nna so after that ke a tla mo yanong ke simola go kopantsha ke dira bag ke simola go kopantsha ke dira bag ga gare ke heletse ke tsenya line ka gare.
Some volunteers in the village say they want to see her business grow.
Gore ke be ke tshwere di-plastic tse ke di selela ausi Keituemtse o roka dibeke ka tsone jaanong ke mo rotloetsa thata gore ga ke sela jaana a nne a tie a tswelele pele ka tiro ya gagwe ya di-plastic tse.
Di thusa tota go le di thusa thata ka gore ga go tlhole go la le batla ka la batsitsi botse so gape bile di setse di la le tiro di dira
ha ile go gona ke be ke latlha plastic ya mmeke le mo community ke buile le bona gore ha bana di plastic tsa mmeke please ba di mphe ke tlo go ha ke itumetse atla a dire di beke a ikopele.
However, Keromeng says more resources are needed to grow her business.
Ke eletsa thata gore puso e ka nthusa gore business ya ka e kgone e gole e tswelele pele le bakele golo ke gore ke ikemiseditse go gokotsa botlhoka tiro mo no gae ja ka ile gore ke setse ke nna le batho ba le bararo ba ileng gore ba ithaupile go tla go nthusa ga ke bane le sepe tota me gone ke ba rata thata go se ba pelotelele ke bone ba nkgontsang gore ke kgone ke dire go le gontsi le go berekela pele.
Keromeng also makes clothes for farmers. She is also an emerging farmer who wants to venture into small-scale farming. Zeblon Maine, SABC News, Tseng Village.
If there's one thing about South Africa is that we don't lack skills, we don't lack entrepreneurial spirit and also Ubuntu. We saw there how the villagers of Tseng Village have come together to help Keromeng to run her business of making bags. And we implore, if you are around that area, please support her, buy from her, and let's make the ecosystem bigger. And with that, it's all from SME on the agenda. Please support small businesses, those that sell de-alcoholized wine and non-alcoholic wine, and those that sell bags made of MAC, washing powder, wrappings. Support them and let's make those rents and cents circulate. Goodbye.